we get stressed, the parents get stressed, and most importantly the player gets stressed, then and they're not even aware where the fun element evaporated, when it evaporated, and suddenly they find themselves in deep sea. Understanding that purpose is very important, that the purpose was to have fun. And most young players, they are not adults, they are not young adults also, they are just children. But don't just say that, can you please ask him to eat more vegetables, can you please ask him to not eat junk and so on, or can you please get him to change his habit.
So hi Kishore, this episode is going to be very different. That this is the first time we are going to talk about the parents and talk about them and talk for them. That what does it really take to be a football parent and be able to nurture and groom a child so that he can be a pro athlete and be really good at whatever he does in life. So, what is that one thing at the onset you would like to tell a parent about grooming a child?
I think the most important thing would be to understand the purpose of doing so. Like whether if you want to groom your child in football or cricket, or even say you want to groom him or her as a doctor or even an engineer or any, irrespective of whatever field, what is the purpose really of doing it? I think that clarity is very, very important. And that's the first thing I would say, the most important thing.
Okay, and if a parent asks you that how should I groom a child and how should I help him understand his purpose, and also like you said, the parent needs to understand what is the purpose for the parent.
Right.
So what would you say?
See, the purpose of this entire activity itself of grooming and nurturing a child, what is the purpose, right? So it is basically to, at the end of the day, to ensure that the child is happy in life and successful in life, right? And where will that success and happiness come from? It follows from that logic, that it will come from being able to achieve whatever he or she wants to achieve in life. Which again goes back, to saying that every child when he or she grows up wants to be happy only. So that purpose I think has to be very clear, especially when it comes to competitive, so-called competitive sports, because the purpose at the end of the day is, a lot of times we forget that the purpose why the child had started playing the game was to have fun and be happy, right? And somewhere along the way we become too competitive. And then the fun element evaporates.
Absolutely.
And we get stressed, the parents get stressed, and most importantly the player gets stressed, and then and they're not even aware where the fun element evaporated, when it evaporated, and suddenly they find themselves in deep sea. So that's why I said to start off that understanding that purpose is very important, that the purpose was to have fun and enjoy your time that you spend on the field, right? And when we forget that, all kinds of sufferings take place.
Okay, but contrary to what you said, is it not true that the society or the norms are very clear that if you put in the hard work, only if you put in the rigor that is needed, will you be able to build a career for yourself, be it sports, be it academics, be it technology, anywhere. When you're in school, you're told that just leave the fun aside and study. Or even on the field, we have seen a lot of coaches saying that don't just have fun, play seriously. Or even to that extent that sometimes teachers and coaches tell the children that ye 2 saal mehnat kar lo and the life will be set. What do you think about that?
See, there's a difference between firstly rigor and hard work. Hard work is not equal to rigor, and vice versa. And also, and fun doesn't mean that. Second thing is that fun doesn't mean there is no rigor. In fact, you can achieve the highest level of rigor when you are having fun. Okay, so that's a key difference which I think most or a lot of people don't have enough clarity about. So whatever you enjoy doing, you can keep doing your entire life, and automatically the rigor will come, right? What is hard work? Hard work is when work is getting very hard to do. That means hard work is something that you have to do without your choice.
You're not enjoying it.
You are not enjoying it. You are having to do under pressure of someone or something. It can be a person. It can be a person's expectations. It could be your own expectations. It could be fear of failure. It could be fear of missing out or whatever. But some kind of pressure is acting on you, which is creating that stress. As a result of which, you are finding the work hard to do. Okay. Fun and rigor are something totally different. Okay. Fun is something that when you are enjoying something, that means you are doing it out of your own choice, first of all. So there is no pressure on you. You are doing it out of your own choice. You are not doing it because you think that you are fear of failing, or your fear of not being able to fulfill someone else's expectations. You are doing it because you enjoy it. That's all.
True.
And then you can keep doing it again and again and again for thousands and thousands of hours. So that is rigor. So I feel that is the element which again is very, very relevant to sports as well. The first the answer that I gave you, which was about having clarity of purpose, of engaging in that activity, which is that of having fun. So never, if you're, the moment we become too competitive and we start focusing too much on results, short-term results, there's nothing wrong in being focused on results, but it is all about short-term versus long-term. When we get too riled up about losing a match here and there, that's when that's when the pressure starts building on the child, on the player. And most young players, they are not adults. They are not young adults also. They are just children.
Children, absolutely.
Right? So children, when they face pressure, obviously you have to defend against that pressure. There is a certain resistance. So and as soon as and the more the pressure, the more the resistance. And that resistance can manifest in a lot of ways. But the most destructive way to as far as the growth of the player is concerned, is that they stop learning. Because the moment you become defensive, it is not physically defensive, it is mentally you become defensive, which means that mentally you are defending against any new information or new thought that is coming into your mind that is not that is new to you, which and which is actually stopping your growth. So I think that's a very dangerous sign or dangerous thing to have for an upcoming, not just a player but any individual, I would say.
So when you said that when somebody is enjoying whatever they're doing, it doesn't feel like hard work. So I think what it really means, it boils down to your mindset. That if your mindset is such that it is positive and you're enjoying day-to-day activities, whether it is playing, whether it is fitness, or maintaining the same kind of energy, it boils down to the mindset. Now, how can a parent have that mindset first for himself or herself as a parent, and then help the child build that same mindset?
See, mindset, you are absolutely right. I agree with you that it is the mindset which matters. But we have to think about what does that mindset depend on. Yeah. My mindset is, what is my mindset? My mindset is basically the way I look at the world around me, and the way I look at the world in general, right? So which is basically the mental framework that I have in mind of assessing the world around myself and the world around me. So that entire model sometimes is not adequate to resolve all kinds of situations that I encounter. So if there are parents whose mindset, as you say, or the mental framework of things, everything that is connected to their life, if that is not if that is limited, and if that is not wide enough or robust enough or consistent enough to process all the information that we get from the world, then of course it leads to a lot of conflict and friction. Now, coming to the case of football, which is what is more relevant to us, is that so we have to understand how to look at football. So if the way we look at football, our mindset about football will depend on how we see football and what we understand about football as a sport. If we see football as only a career means, if we see football as only a medium to satisfy our ego by scoring X number of goals or by winning and losing only, then we are not, then that such a framework in our mind is not enough to get the best out of the game. Which means that if my child is playing the game and I am approaching it with this mindset, this mindset is not enough for my child to get the best out of the game. So, which means whatever the potential of the child is, as far as football is concerned, that potential will not be realized. Okay, so we have to change this. When you talk about change this mindset, it can be translated more simply into the fact that change our understanding of the game itself, change our framework, the mental framework with which we are assessing football or cricket or any sport. So which again, further translates into what is the purpose of the sport. Understanding that first of all, because purpose is the beginning and the end of everything, in my opinion. So it starts with purpose. What is the purpose of the game itself, right? And then how and what are the values, and how do we derive the maximum value out of the sport to achieve that purpose, right? Because without the clarity of purpose, we are directionless, right? So without clarity of why we are playing the sport, we cannot derive the value, because values come from what purpose you want to achieve, right? So if we say that the purpose of, suppose for example, we can even say the purpose of playing the sport is to have fun, but have fun only one day or throughout your life. You say, okay, if you can be happy throughout the life, if you can have fun forever, why will we settle for fun, of only one day? So if we want to be, continuously be happy playing football, then we have to go beyond the skills, right? We have to go beyond winning and losing. And we have to look for things which can be available to us, the positive things that we can derive from the sport every single day, whether we are playing or not, because even skills come and go. So it cannot be only skill based. You have to think beyond the skills as well. Even if you are the world's best player ever, even then your skill will go one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because skill is a physical thing, right? It's a physical ability. And as we grow older, the physical ability goes. So then we have to derive something bigger than that, because it is not so continuous enough. So we have to look for something that is more continuous. So we derive, like we don't play regularly anymore, but we derive a lot of value and a lot of happiness and satisfaction from the sport. So that's the direction in which we have to expand. I would say that when we means all of us parents need to expand our vision so that we can help our children to get the maximum out of playing the game.
If I ask you to put it in even more simpler words, that how can I as a parent explain to my kid that why should he play football? I'm sure the kid loves to play football, but what is the real meaning of playing football in his life in the simplest term that even a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old can understand?
I think you don't even need to tell your child, because the child already knows that he wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And that the parents can observe,
absolutely,
right? If they want to.
Yeah.
And so let them have fun. You already know why he is. Of course, you can make the child self-aware. Like, see, you are having so much of fun. Did you enjoy it? If he, whenever he has a good time, you can reinforce it by making him aware, by making him see how did you really enjoy it? Then he can reflect on it. Like, for example, he had a great training session and he comes home. And then he's like, he will be buzzing with energy.
Absolutely.
Or she will, it can be a she also, the she will be buzzing with energy. And then you can say, why are you buzzing today? You will say, I had a great training session. So what did you do? So then make him reflect on what was the good things.
What did he enjoy the most?
What he or she enjoyed the most. So that way, by making them more aware about, more about about the fun that they are having while playing the sport. That's the way you can make them aware that of the purpose itself, because purpose can be a very heavy word, but it can be said very simply also, that if your purpose is to have fun, just have fun. Now, as a parent, you have to remember that purpose in every situation.
Absolutely.
Because the purpose doesn't change with situation. So even if your child now loses a match and comes with shoulders drooping, even then you can ask, even then you can remember as a parent that the purpose is to have fun. So how can I get back my child to have fun again? That's the most important question. Never forget the purpose. And every situation, whether it is winning or losing, a small game, a friendly match, or a big tournament, or a national tournament, not getting selected in for a tournament or for a team, not getting enough playing minutes, getting subbed off too early or warming the substitution bench, doesn't matter. The purpose, never forget, the purpose is always to have fun. And sometimes, of course, no player enjoys not playing. No player enjoys sitting on the bench. But sitting on the bench can also be fun if we understand the purpose of sitting on the bench. If we understand that the purpose is to, observe and see, read the game. Purpose is to reflect and see what can I improve, how can I get better, right? So that is a very, very enjoyable exercise. Just understanding things
by
is
observation,
by observation and by challenging your own conclusions and changing them as you deem fit, and experiencing those and experiencing the proof of those in your in your physical through your physical experiences. I think that is a very, very enjoyable exercise. And once the child gets to know this trick of growth, that it is all about absorbing, analyzing, processing, and then improving your conclusions about the world around you. Once, and whether it is through football or through academics or through any activity, suddenly the child goes on auto mode. Then you don't even have to intervene much in the growth of the child. The child becomes a self-learner.
Yeah. Interesting. I was about to ask this question when you said that a 5-year-old always loves to play, and we will never have to force them to play football, like in this case we're talking about. But I think the entire challenge, all these things that we discussed about not getting selected, sitting on a bench, or losing a competitive match, comes when our kids are in the age of, say, 10, 11, where the society or the coach or the parents now have higher expectations from the player, that now the technical, the tactical, all that pressure is onto the player. Now that time, remembering the purpose becomes very, very important. And I think as a parent, constant reinforcement of the fact that asking that question, are you still having fun? Or, questioning that, why are such small instances making you feel that you've lost fun in the game? I think that constant reminder of that constant conversation is very important.
Yes, of course. And we are there to help the parents, and that's where we see our role as. We, in the sense, and our representative who interacts with the parent every week is basically the coaches that we have. So parents can work very closely with the coaches. In fact, they must work very closely. They must align with the coaches, and both should work as a team in the growth of the child, right? And if there is any misalignment over there, then first sort that out as soon as you can. If there is any misunderstanding or misalignment in the approach. Otherwise, the kid is going to get conflicting signals. The kid is going to get confused. And obviously confusion leads to more internal conflict leads to friction leads to more frustration, disappointment, and so on. And finally, in the long run, the child will not be able to realize his true potential, right? And that's a big loss, in my opinion. So we have seen in so many years, we have seen that there are a lot of parents who sometimes are not aligned with the coach, and they are giving different the messages to the child as compared to the coach. So when such a conflict happens, it is the child who suffers. So I have always, all along, since day one, whoever parents I have met, if it comes to that, I always advise them that only send your child to a coach who you trust. If you don't trust the coach, and it is true for a school also, if you don't trust the school, or if you don't trust the school teachers, don't send your children to that school, because teacher is saying something else, and at home where the child is spending more time, there he or she is getting conflicting signals. Absolutely. Different messages. So it does more harm than good to the child.
True, absolutely. Now, like you said, the children are spending a lot more time at home as compared to what they spend with our coaches and with us here. Now, one thing that the coaches often talk about to the children is about taking care of their health, or building healthy habits, being consistent on the ground for the practice, for the tournaments, and all of that. Now, how do you think can a parent really help in this case? Because sometimes parents come and tell the coach that the kid doesn't want to eat healthy. The kid doesn't want to, get up early in the morning for a practice that the coach has asked for. How can a parent really help in this case?
See, most people think good habits or bad habits, whatever habits are, inputs to achieving, certain goals. But I see habits as actually outcomes of the awareness of the individual. Okay. So rather than trying, and that's where we lose the plot. I think that we try to force children and people to change their habits because we think that those are inputs. So we keep saying that you change your input. But actually nobody wants to not adopt good habits. Everybody wants, even the chain smoker also wants to, if given a choice, he would like to change his habit.
Would like to reverse.
He would like to reverse. So it is an inability to do so. So it is an outcome. Habit is an outcome of our level of awareness about our body, about our mind, about our soul, spirit, and so on. Right? So it is and the world around us. So this understanding is what we have to work on. We have to improve the self-awareness of the child. Now the coaches can play a big role, and coaches can be of big help to the parents in doing so, because coaches, the children, lot of children and most players, they listen to the coaches.
I'm sure. Yeah.
They take them very seriously. They have a lot of respect and regard for their coaches because they are teaching them something they love and they're very, very passionate about.
That bond is very special.
Parents may not listen to kids may not listen to the parents, but they will listen to the coaches.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that is why take help from the coaches in changing the habit of the child. But don't just say that, can you please ask him to eat more vegetables? Can you please ask him to not eat junk and so on? Or can you please get him to change his habit? Because habits don't change like that. Instead, work with him to understand what is the reason why the child is not displaying the kind of habit that we want, or the child is not being able to imbibe healthy habits. Right? So you can work with the coach to improve the self-awareness of the child. Which means self-awareness can improve through reflection. Now this reflection can happen on the pitch. It can happen off the pitch. Yeah. On the pitch, coaches are there. We encourage our coaches. Our training methodology is totally based on the centerpiece of our training methodology is guided discovery, which means that it is about asking questions rather than giving the right answers to the child, by which the child is forced or nudged. I won't say forced, but when you ask questions, they are actually nudged to think for the answers. So thinking helps them to reflect and increase their awareness. And this thing can happen off the field also. And off the field, for example, parents can also do reflection at the right time, every day, end of the day. It's a very good habit, I think, for the family to get together at the end of the day and just do a 10-15 minutes of reflection. What went right, what went wrong, or what did you enjoy? Any topic. How did your day go? Did you manage to do whatever you wanted to do during the day? It's a very simple exercise on a daily basis. It will automatically, without even the child knowing, it will increase his or her knowledge. Without even the child being aware, it will increase his or her awareness.
Without anyone putting special instructions or enforcement into it.
And very naturally, with minimum conflict, the child will develop the habit of reflection. And once you develop the habit of reflection, the habits automatically develop. You become more aware, and it becomes habitual. So when it becomes habitual to be aware, to process things and be to observe things and try and understand, automatically it becomes so much easier to inculcate the right habits. Because the reason why you want them to adopt healthy habits is so that they're able to play better. Absolutely. And of course, they also want to play better, right?
And make them see that.
Exactly. Yeah. So because they also want to have fun. And you don't have fun when you don't play according to your potential. So the child also wants to play as per his or her potential. And they will become aware. If they have a good ability to reflect, they'll be able to see why or how they can improve their performance in line with their current capacity.
Absolutely.
So that's how it works, in my opinion.
I think it's about making them aware and making them see the fact that how all this connects and how one leads to the other. That becomes very important. Thank you so much, Kishore. Interesting conversation, and I hope this gives some ideas and thoughts to the parents as to how they can help children perform even better and enjoy life.
I hope so too. Thank you.
Thank you.